Alright, so once you're in Davinci Resolve, the first thing you want to do is drag in a Fusion composition onto the timeline. Then you want to right click on it, open in Fusion page, and the first thing we're going to be adding is a background node, and then we're going to attach it to media out, and then we're going to keep the background color to black, and then we're going to add in the clock background animation, just like that. We're going to connect it to the node so it creates a merge automatically. And what we're going to do is we're going to control space on our keyboard, search up transform XF, and just click add. Go back to the clock animation. I'm just going to rename the node clock animation. And now what you want to do, go to your global in and out right over here. Make sure you're on your clock animation. Make sure your global in is at 0, and then your global out, change it to 51. And then for the trim in, you want to put it to 247, trim out 298. Now make sure you have your transform node selected. Go to size and adjust it to 2.71. Make sure you have transform selected, click control space and search up time speed. Right over here, click add, click control space again, search up CC, color correction, add that. I'm just going to adjust this. Okay, actually we can go ahead and delete time speed. We won't be needing that. Color correction, make sure you have color correction selected. Hue, make sure it's on 0. Saturation, put it to 0.89. Tint, put it to negative 0.4. And then the strength, put it to 0.5. Just like that. You can obviously play around with it to whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it at that. We're going to click on our merge 1 node, and we're going to bring the blend down, basically the opacity, down to 0.331. We're going to go back to our transform node. Make sure you're at frame number 0. We're going to keyframe the size at 0 frames, and then we're going to go to frame 51, where the animation basically ends. We're going to change the size to somewhere around there. Should be good. Right over there. And now we're gonna add the text that you guys saw. So we're gonna do this by bringing in a text node. We're gonna create another merge node by just dragging it like that. I won't be renaming this. So we're just gonna type the text, just like that. And we're gonna switch the font to this. We're going to increase the size to 0.15, and instead of bold, we're going to put it to light. Click control space on our keyboard, search up transform XF, click add. Make sure you're on 0 frames. Alright, so we're going to go to frame number 10. We're going to keyframe the center, and then we're going to go to frame number 20 right over there, and we're going to adjust center Y to 0.61, just like that. And now we're gonna click on our merge node. We're gonna go to frame number 10, I'm pretty sure. Keyframe the blend right over here, and then go to frame number 20 and put the blend all the way down to 0. We're gonna click on our spline. We're gonna adjust transform 2. And then now, once you highlight both of them, just click S on your keyboard, and we're just going to stretch both of these out a little bit more, just like that. We're going to bring this up a little bit more, and bring this down, and that should be good. Now once we got that, we're going to bring in the hand PNG right over here. Again, just connect it to the merge. We'll rename it so it's easier to find. Just name it hand, something simple. We're going to add a transform node. Click control space again. We're going to add color correction. And before we do anything to our transform and stuff, we're going to go to settings. Make sure you have the transform selected. Go to settings, click on motion blur, increase the quality to 4 or 5, and then increase the shutter angle all the way to 360. Now go to your color correction. We're gonna adjust the saturation to 1.25, and we're gonna adjust the gain to 1.06. And now we're gonna add the animation. So click on the transform node, go to control, and then size. We're gonna put the size at, we're gonna have the size at 0. We're gonna go to 0 frames. We're gonna have the size all the way down to 0. We're gonna keyframe it. Or actually, we're not gonna keyframe it there. We're gonna go to frame number 17, and now we're gonna keyframe the size at 0. And then we're gonna go to frame number 38. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna adjust the size to 1.63. And then we're gonna click on our spline once again, uncheck transform 2, and we're gonna do transform 3 now, which is the hands. Just adjust that so we can see, or click zoom to fit. Highlight both of them, click S on your keyboard, and we're gonna bring this up to somewhere around there, and then this one back there. That should be good. So far it should look something like this. It's a little laggy for me, but it should look similar to that. We're now gonna add the logo that you guys saw in the intro. So we're gonna drag it in. We're gonna connect it to our merge once again. I'll rename it logo. We're gonna click Control Space. We're gonna add a transform XF. Click Control Space again. We're gonna add color correction. Click Control Space again, and we're gonna add a glow GLO. Make sure not to add the glow. Click glow GLO, and then click add. And then now what we're gonna want to do, click on color correction. We're gonna put the tint to around 0.53. Strength, we're gonna put it to around 0.9. And then now we're done with the color correction. We're gonna head over to glow now, and glow size, we're gonna make it 100. And the actual glow itself, we're gonna put it to 0.299. And then the blend, we're gonna switch it to 0.433 or something like that. Whatever looks good, you can just test around and play around with it. And make sure your apply mode is normal and your clipping mode is on frame. Okay, so now we can start keyframing it. So what we're gonna do is make sure you're on transform 4. Make sure your size is set to 1.44. So we're gonna go to frame number 17. We're gonna keyframe the Y value at negative 0.33, and then we're gonna adjust the angle to 180 degrees, just like that. Actually, we're gonna keyframe it at 180. And then now we're gonna go to frame 41, so right over there, and we're gonna put the angle to 0, and then the center Y to 0.5, just like that. Once we've done that, we're gonna click on our spline once again, uncheck transform 3. We're gonna go to transform 4. We're gonna uncheck the angle for the center. This is gonna be what the spline is gonna look like. Click S on your keyboard. We're gonna put it somewhere around there. That should be good. And then we'll put this right over there. And then we're gonna uncheck that. We're gonna check on our angle. Highlight both of it. Click S on your keyboard. And that should be good. You can stretch it out a little bit more for each. Play around, test with it, and see what works best for you. Now once you've got that, we're gonna add the text, the percent text that goes behind the hands and logo. So since it goes behind the hands and logo, we want the layer to be behind it, right? So we're gonna highlight the hands and logo part, everything in front of that. We're gonna move it forward, just like that. And then we're gonna drag in a text node and just connect it to the merge, just like that. And we're just gonna write 50%. Font, we'll keep it at open sans, and then switch it to extra bold. Size, increase the size to 0.4 or 0.5. Click Control Space. We're gonna add a transform node, and then we're gonna start keyframing it now. So we're gonna go to frame number 36, and now we're gonna keyframe center Y at 0.5. and then we're going to go to frame number 50. You can use the arrow keys to move as well. And now we're going to put the center Y to 0.771, and we're going to click on our merge node now, and then we're going to go to frame number 38. So just go back a little bit, keyframe the blend at 0, so put it all the way down to 0, and then go to frame number 44, so 6 frames in front, and then we're going to put the blend to 0.7 or something like that, not 0.7, just like that, and that should be good. But we're gonna do one more thing. We're gonna adjust the spline. We're just gonna make it smoother. We just keyframe transform 5, so we're gonna uncheck everything else, uncheck that, highlight both of it, click S on your keyboard, and just look at what I'm doing and try to replicate it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah, and that should be good. Hope you guys did enjoy the tutorial. If you guys do want to see more, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.